Back in your life on this Monday, August 20th, 2018. Hello again, everyone. I'm Ariel Helwani. Welcome back to the program. Welcome inside our New York City studio. Great day to be alive. Great day to be talking a little mixed martial arts with all of you. Coming off a relatively quiet weekend once again in the world of mixed martial arts, although there was some notable things that happened on Friday and Thursday. As always, we have a lot to discuss on this particular episode. As of right now, 3 in-studio guests. 1 fell off due to an illness of some kind, but we're still trying to figure that out. That's the joy, my friends, of doing a live program. I appreciate everyone who's tuning in live right here on Twitter. live.twitter.com/ESPN is where you can watch the show if you don't know. I mean, you're probably watching it right now, so you probably know where to find it. But feel free to let your friends know as well. Also, if you're watching us after the fact on YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, ESPN.com, the ESPN app, all those places, I appreciate you. I appreciate your love. I appreciate your loyalty. Thank you so very much. So, what are we talking about? Who are we talking to on this particular program? Well, at around 4:10, we're going to be joined by Yoel Romero, who has been in the news as of late. I have wanted to talk to him very much ever since the news came out that he was fighting at Madison Square Garden in New York City on November 3rd. And then we reported that it was a little premature. And so we wanted to know, is he in fact fighting on that card? And then they had the press conference in Los Angeles, and he was on the promo for that Paulo Costa fight, you know, about the whole middleweight tournament thingy that they got going on. Well, what's going on with Yoel? How's his eye, the surgery, all that and more. So we'll check in with Yoel, his first interview since all that went down. That's at around 4:10. At around 3:40, we're going to talk to Volkan Ozdemir, who I believe is talking for the first time since he had to pull out of UFC 227, and also got signed to fight on the Moncton card in beautiful New Brunswick in October against Anthony Smith. That's the headliner. It has been a difficult year for No Time. Remember, last year he was one of the breakout stars, rookie of the year, whatever you want to call him. Got the title shot in January, lost to Daniel Cormier. Since then, he has not fought. He's had to pull out of 3 fights. Legal troubles, all that and more. It seems like he has weathered that storm. Also had a broken nose. So what's up with Volkan? We'll check in with him at around 3:40. At 3:05, we're going to be joined in studio by Aaron Chalmers. You've seen me probably talk to him in the past. Former reality TV show star, Geordie Shore, which is the UK version of the Jersey Shore over on MTV in the UK. He is here because today in New York City is the Video Music Awards. So he's here. Obviously, he's part of the family, so to speak. And he's been in the news as of late, and he's been teasing some WWE stuff. He's been teasing some legal troubles. We'll talk to Aaron in studio. How fun is that at 3:05? Now, at 2:25, we're going to be joined in studio as well by this Shrubanimal himself, James Gallagher, who suffered his first professional loss on Friday against Ricky Bandejas. This, in my opinion, was the story of the weekend. Gallagher coming back, or Gallagher, I should say, coming back from a long layoff. It had been 14 months since his last fight here in New York City at Madison Square Garden. Of course, he beat Shinzo Machida that night, had the knee injury, had to be out for quite some time, and then comes back against Ricky Bandejas, who's a former CFFC interim champion, and Bandejas just smoked him. I mean, knocked him out, sweet chin music, rocked him on the feet, rocked him on the ground, finished in the first round, and this was a hot topic because of all the trash talk, because of James's pre-fight antics, if you will, on social media, before the fight, in the cage, all that and then some. What a big win for Ricky Bandejas, and a setback for James Gallagher, and quite frankly, I'm surprised that he's coming in studio. So that should be a very interesting chat with the youngster, the 21-year-old James Gallagher. At around 1:50, we'll be joined by Alima Lay McFarlane, who's the Bellator flyweight women's champion. She's coming off a win. We spoke to her briefly after the win, but I've never had like a long interview with her, so to speak. She's also here for the VMAs. I'm looking forward to talking to her at around 1:50. She's got an amazing backstory, in particular, something that happened with her dad, and who they believed was her dad's best friend, who ended up being her dad's brother. How crazy is that? So, Alima Lay McFarlane, I'll tell you more about that story. Or she'll tell you more about that story at around 1:50. At around 1:25, we'll be joined by Eric Albarracin, who is the head coach, if you will, for one Henry Cejudo. 10 years ago yesterday, Henry Cejudo became the youngest American to win a gold medal in wrestling. And, of course, earlier this month, he became the UFC flyweight champion, defeating Demetrius Johnson. Eric was by his side. They call him Captain Eric. He was by his side back when he won the gold, by his side when he won the belt. And remember that whole thing that happened with his ankle in that fight against DJ earlier this month? Eric told me something that he learned on my former show came into play, into his consciousness, as he was trying to get Henry to heal up from that crazy sequence of events where he was getting kicked in the leg and he couldn't stand on his feet. It was something that was said on this program that helped him heal Henry Cejudo, if you will. Crazy. So we'll talk to him about that. There's so much going on, as always, in the world of MMA. We'll talk a little Bellator, as I said. The event on Friday, Kayla Harrison, victorious once again. She's now 2-0 as a professional. She won on Thursday at PFL. And there's a bunch of fight announcements. And Ngannou Blades 2 for China. Manuel Santos for Sao Paulo. A couple fights for Bellator's return to the Northeast in October. So much going on. But as I said, the story of the weekend, in my opinion, and I mean, unless you're going to count Ronda Rousey winning the WWE, I think it was the Raw Championship or something like that at SummerSlam. The story of the weekend was Ricky Bandejas knocking out James Gallagher in his Bellator debut on Friday in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. So there was only one way for us to properly start this show, and that's with Ricky himself. He joins us via the magic of Skype. There he is. Ricky Bandejas, how are you?
Good. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Congratulations on the win. What has life been like the last 48 hours or so since you shut up a lot of people, you upset a lot of people, and you made a spectacular Bellator debut? What's it been like for you?
It's been crazy. My social media's been going up, and before the fight, I was a nobody, and now I got a little bit of respect.
Did you feel, Ricky, like everyone within Bellator wanted you to lose, like you just came in and spoiled their plans?
Yeah, absolutely. I think they were looking at me as a stepping stone, like an invite for Gallagher down at the 35 division, but we spoiled that.
When you were offered this fight, obviously, I'm sure when you were offered, you had heard about James Gallagher, right?
Yes.
Were you a little puzzled as to, because, I mean, you could literally offer him, especially with the layoff, you can literally offer him anyone, right? You can offer him any kind of any kind of old guy, whatever the case is, and use that as a stepping stone, as you said. Were you surprised that they called upon you? You know, a hot prospect from the Northeast, as I said, a title holder from a major, regional promotion like CFFC, who has produced some of the best fighters of all time. Were you surprised that they called you? Were you a little puzzled by that?
Yeah, a little bit, because all his fights prior to, he had stand-up guys, no guys with ground. They gave him like the right opponents. So when they offered me, I was a little confused. But then when I thought about it, everybody thinks I'm a wrestler and a ground guy. So I think they thought that was a perfect matchup for Gallagher.
So did they give you a reason as to why they booked you against him of all people and not give you the showcase fight, considering that you're a champion, like trying to make you into something that maybe he is at the moment?
No, I didn't. They didn't give me any reason. My manager called, said, "What about James Gallagher?" And I said, "Love that fight."
Yeah. Were you in talks with the UFC at all?
I'm sorry. What'd you say?
Had the UFC reached out to you yet? Were you ever in talks with them?
No, we haven't talked to them.
Okay. So you come in. You're booked against James, who comes from a reputable team, a team that obviously a lot of people know about, the Conor McGregor connection, SBG and whatnot. And then there's a lot of social media taunting, if you will, trash talk. Is that accurate? And did it ever cross the line, in your opinion?
A lot. 8 weeks worth.
8 weeks worth. Well, like what? What are we talking about?
Just a lot of he's got a lot of fans that would tag me saying I'm done. He just constantly posts pictures, kind of a countdown of beating me up, videos tagging me. So it was especially the week of fight week was the most intense.
Did it ever get to the point where you felt it was crossing a line? Was it getting annoying? Was it frustrating you? I mean, it's constantly on your phone. How were you reacting to it?
It didn't bother me, man. I knew August 17th we would be fighting, so, and it brings a lot of good publicity. People hate it, but it brought a lot of attention to the fight, and it paid off because I knew I was going to win.
Fair to say that he sort of gave you extra motivation by doing all of that?
Yeah, he definitely got me focused for this camp.
Okay. You get to Sioux Falls. Did you ever run into him beforehand?
No, the first time I saw him was on weigh-ins.
Okay, and then he got up all in your face, right, at the weigh-ins?
Yeah, he was behind me chattering before we went on the stage. He was on the stage chattering. Even before the fight in the back, in the hallway, he was talking smack.
What was he saying to you at the weigh-ins?
Everybody else saw the fight.
What was he saying to you at the weigh-ins?
Te- 10-2. You're not on my level. I'm on a new level. I'm gonna smash you. Things like that.
Okay. And then right before I had heard about this, right before you were about to walk out, you were kind of next to each other, right? So he was talking
Yeah,
to you then too?
yeah. He was down right around the corner, and you heard him screaming, "Ricky, I'm coming. 10-2. You're not on my level. You're FUCK'd."
Okay. And what is that doing in your head? Is that pissing you off, or is that motivating you? Are you starting to even doubt yourself? Like, why is this guy so freaking confident going into this
Yeah,
fight?
exactly that. He didn't bother me at all, but when he was in the hallway and when he got in my face in the cage, I was a little confused. I'm like, how could this guy be so confident?
And then in the cage as well, it doesn't end, right? He comes right up to you. What was he
Yep,
saying to you?
absolutely.
What was he saying to you in that moment?
I don't even, from the cage on, I don't even really remember what he was saying. I
Okay.
was zoned out.
So you say to yourself that, like, why is this guy so confident? At what point do you start to believe that, okay, like is it the opening moments of the fight where you're connecting a little bit? At what point are you starting to think like, okay, this guy isn't on my level. I got this
Yeah,
guy.
absolutely. When the ring announcer was announcing us and he was jumping and staring, I started to see that he was a little nervous. So I knew once the fight started, he was going to come hard. But me and my coach, we had a plan. We knew once we started hitting him and stuffed the takedown, he would break. And that's exactly what happened.
You say that he looked a little nervous. Like, what did you see there? Because he's not a guy who really exudes nervousness.
Yeah, I just, like my coach was yelling when he was getting announced. He said you could just tell he was nervous. His whole demeanor, you could tell he wasn't as confident as I thought he would be.
Okay. He really jumped out at you, which is kind of a thing that he's been doing as of late. Do you feel like that actually played into your advantage, the fact that he came out so aggressively early on?
I definitely think it helped. He came out hard. I got himself gassed out. I thought he was gonna knock me out
Yeah.
right away. And I think when that didn't go to plan, he started panic.
Eventually, you rocked him, you dropped him, and then you hit him with the sweet chin music, which was very reminiscent of the great Shawn Michaels, Heartbreak Kid. A lot of people noted that. Are you a pro wrestling fan, or is that just a move that you've done yourself over the years?
That's just something I've done over the years.
Yeah. Do you see the connection? Do you even know who Shawn Michaels is?
Yeah, I remember him from when I was younger. I used to watch it a little bit.
Yeah, that was I mean, you landed flush, and then he was shortly thereafter he was done, and then you got fired up. That was like the most emotion that we saw from you. Did you say anything to him there when you were kind of standing over him?
Yeah, I said 11-1.
Wow, has that is that the most emotion that you've ever shown in a fight, especially
Yeah,
afterwards?
absolutely.
Because you seem like a pretty calm, cool, and collected guy.
Yeah, definitely. Every fight, I just raise my hand. That's it. But after 8 weeks of hearing this guy, it felt good to knock him out like that.
Do you regret any of that?
Uh, I think back to what he did, and no, I don't. It felt good.
Yeah. So then you win, and then you go to the back. What's it like in the back? Because as you just said, you felt early on when you were offered this fight that you were being served up as a stepping stone. Did you feel like you had, upset the Bellator officials, or did they show you love?
No, they definitely showed me a lot of love after the fight. They're very nice, respectful. So, but I think that's because we won. I don't know what would have happened if we would have lost.
Sure. Do you feel like you are? So you mentioned 48 hours. It's been crazy, or social media and whatnot. Do you feel like the story is Ricky Bandejas, won impressively in his Bellator debut, or do you feel like the story is James Gallagher, ate some humble pie and you're not getting the attention that you deserve?
I think it's a little 50-50. I see a lot of posts saying, giving me the highlight and the love. And I see the other half saying that James Gallagher is getting humble pie.
Okay. You were even featured on SportsCenter. Did you see that?
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That's amazing.
It was exciting, man. I'm glad I'm getting some love. 11-1 took long enough.
Sure. And did you sign a long-term deal with Bellator, or was it just a one fight?
No, I signed 4 fights with
Okay.
Bellator.
Okay, so you're going to be around. Now, it
Yeah,
seemed like they were priming him for a title shot at 135.
absolutely.
Does that mean you get the title shot now?
I don't know. On paper, it makes sense, but I'm in no rush. If I get the title fight, great. If not, I just want to stay active.
Okay. Because Caldwell, who's the 135-pound champion, also fought on that card, of course, at 145, and it doesn't seem like they have a lot of options for him right now, so former champion yourself would make a lot of sense, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely makes sense to me.
After the fight, you said hello or you gave a shout out to the girls in your life. Who are these girls?
My wife and my 3 daughters.
3 daughters.
Yeah,
How old are you?
me 26.
Damn. How old were you when you had your first child?
I was 21.
21. Well done.
Right?
And how where are you going? Are you going to show us your daughters?
No, my phone is on 5%. I got to go plug it in.
Oh no, that's bad timing. Um,
Right?
so you were 21 when you had, and when did you start fighting?
When I was 18, I was an amateur, and I turned pro when my daughter was born.
Okay, and so how did you? I mean, having one child is enough. Having three, how did you support them early on? You're not making a lot of money as a fighter on the regional scene, right?
No, definitely not. I'm a union carpenter up in Jersey City.
Till this day?
A union carpenter in Jersey
Yeah,
City.
but are you still work as a carpenter?
No, this fight I took all 9 weeks off.
But will you go back afterwards?
Uh, Probably. You need benefits for your kids, so I got to work at least half the year to get them.
Okay. How do you like being a carpenter?
Uh, it sucks. It's
It's
not fighting's a lot better.
What kind of jobs are we talking about?
Uh, Building high rises.
Oh man, in New
Yeah,
Jersey.
it's nuts.
Damn. Okay. So when did you stop working? When was your last day on the job?
Um, I haven't. Let's see. I took this whole 9 week. I took 9 weeks off for this fight, so right before that.
Okay. And do you feel like with what you're making with Bellator, like you could support your family, you don't have to go back and have another job?
If I could keep, like I said, stay active. That's my biggest thing. If I could get more fights, I think we'll win them, and the pay goes up.
And you're talking to us from Tom's River right now, right? Tom's River, New
Yes.
Jersey, of course, most famous, I think, for two reasons. A, the Little League World Series team that won, I believe it was 20 years ago, and B, of course, Frankie the Answer Edgar. Are you kind of running the same circles as Frankie, right? Nick Catone is your coach. Do you train
Yes.
with him as well?
Yes. He's from our gym. He trains on Saturdays with us.
So you're 20. You said you're 27 right now.
26.
26, excuse me. So Frankie won the world title. What was it? 2010, I believe. And so you were around like 18 years.
18.
Yeah, yeah. So are you like were you someone that was growing up like looking up to him, and now you're a peer of his? Is that wild for you?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Definitely pretty neat. You watch him on TV, and now we're in the same gym.
What kind of advice, if any, did all those vets like him, Marlon Moraes? I saw a lot of them giving you shout outs. Did they give you any advice about this being your
Yeah,
first? Your,
just believe in your preparation. You can do 3 hard rounds, and remember how you train. Don't go in there second guessing yourself.
yeah, and being on the big stage, the big lights, all that stuff, TV. Did you feel a little more nervous before this fight than in the past?
No, definitely not. We had CFFC runs a good show. They pack the house,
Yeah.
and it's got the lights and everything. It feels like a real show, minus the live TV. So I was ready for this.
Your manager even showed me a comment that Conor McGregor put on his Instagram saying to hold the tap. Did you see that one as well?
Yeah, he's
So you feel like all the aftermath stuff was warranted, right?
yeah, absolutely. It worked out, good.
Do you think that he will be different? Do you think he will learn from this? Do you think he will eat humble pie?
No, definitely not.
Why
He
not?
got his career grew so much from acting like this
Yeah.
that I don't think he's ever going to change it.
Would you advise him to change it?
Yeah, no, it works for him, man. The guy's got a great following. I got all this attention from knocking him out. If I fought anybody else, I wouldn't, be viral right now.
That's the one thing that I think people are missing. All the trash talk, his demeanor, the taunting. In the end, it helps you if you're the one who knocks him out, right?
Absolutely. That's why when we talked about this fight, I thought it was a great idea because I knew if we, got the finish this way, we would get all this attention.
Amazing. So, when do you want to return?
Yeah, as soon as possible.
No injuries, right?
No, no.
And why not ask for the title shot?
Uh, Hey, if that's an option, I would love to take it, but I'm not going to go chasing it down and begging for it. If it comes, it comes.
Why not? But if he was supposed to get it,
I think because that guy Caldwell's looking to go to 45. Sounds like it's a waiting list.
okay, you don't want to wait.
No, I don't want to wait.
All right. Any celebrations? Any parties in after what you did on Friday?
Yeah, my wife actually surprised me with a party yesterday.
Oh, nice. Where was the invite
Yeah.
for me?
What happened?
Where was the invite? How come I didn't get
All
invited?
right.
Well, what you were supposed to say was, where was the invite to come in studio?
That's what I. Hey, that's why I asked you last night.
Yeah, I
You
know.
know. I see.
Yeah,
James is coming.
yeah, you're right. That's on me.
I'm like, where's mine, dude?
That's on me. I apologize. I owe you one.
Yes, I think so.
Okay, fair enough. I think you're owed a title shot and an in-studio visit. I'm going to be more vocal about this than you. If that guy was supposed to get a title shot, you should get the title shot now. You beat him. You knocked him out.
Yes, I agree. I agree. On paper, that makes sense.
All right. Well, Ricky, congratulations. Very happy for you. What a performance. Job well done. Enjoy the aftermath, and looking forward to your next one in Bellator.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure.
Enjoy your day.
Same to you. There he is, Ricky Bandejas, with the big win on Friday over James Gallagher. What a performance. And afterwards on Twitter, I said, look, I saw a lot of people enjoying the moment, reveling in the fact that James Gallagher, suffered this demise, right? And look, the story should be first and foremost, Ricky Bandejas knocked him out, and then this young kid who's 21 years old, got some humble pie, was shut up, was knocked out, et cetera, et cetera. It seemed to me, and of course that comes with the territory. Like, if you're going to talk, you're going to have to take it. And by the way, like an hour after the loss, James Gallagher is on social media saying, I'll be back. He's on social media again. Like, he did not hide. He's even coming in studio. I didn't think he would come in studio. So he seems to be handling it like a vet. And a lot of other people, I mentioned one at the top of the show, lose the fight. Of course, there's less attention, but a lot of other people, they lose, they disappear, right? It just seemed like what are you reveling in? This guy gets it. Ricky gets it. The win is only bigger because of all the smack talk. The win is only bigger because of all the trash talk. The win is only bigger because of the demeanor before the fight, getting in his face, all those antics. That only helped him in the end. Now we'll see what Bellator, we'll see what they do. In the past, Bellator has been in these situations where it's very clear who they want to win. That person doesn't win. I think about when Darren Caldwell lost. And then what happens is they'll run it back right away. Don't do that this time. Let this win sink in. Let them build themselves back up. And then you have a rematch at some point down the line. It's an even bigger fight. Do not try to right the wrong by doing the immediate rematch. That would make no sense, in my opinion. Now you've got something. Gallagher's still a draw. People want to see the comeback. The comeback is sometimes even more interesting than the winning streak. Now you got something in Ricky Bandejas as well. So build him up properly. Don't feel like you made a mistake, even though all the pre-fight hype was about James Gallagher. And I'm not talking about the trolls on Twitter and Instagram, but like people in the fight game. You have all lost. Sean Grandy put it very well, the former play-by-play guy for Bellator. He's like, look, a lot of the young stars that I talked about last week in Bellator are growing up in front of our eyes. A lot of these people lose early on in the regional scene. We're just seeing them lose. Caldwell, Gallagher come to mind. We're just seeing them lose early on because they're figuring it out in front of our eyes on national television. Bellator has to sign these guys earlier. In the old days, you're a little more of a vet once you reach the big show. That's not the case anymore. So we're going to see a bit of growing pains for these blue chip prospects, if you will. The reveling, the mean-spiritedness of the celebration, to me, it's like that wasn't Conor losing. Yeah, you could say he acts like him, but it's a 21-year-old kid. Like what do we do? Like, yeah, fine, celebrate, give the guy props, fine. But it felt like it went a little too far, in my opinion.